Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, a WealthWorks summary. Introduction, the book that started it all. Napoleon Hill spent 20 years studying the richest and most successful people in America. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller. He interviewed over 500 of them and distilled their insights into 13 principles. Think and Grow Rich was published in 1937. It has sold over 100 million copies. It remains one of the best-selling self-help books in history. The title is deliberately provocative. Hill's argument is that wealth begins not with action, but with thought. The mind is the starting point, and most people never develop the mental habits that make lasting wealth possible. This summary covers the most important of Hill's 13 principles, the ones most directly applicable to building financial freedom in the world we live in today. Chapter 1. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Hill's first principle is desire, not a wish, not a hope, a burning, obsessive, all-consuming desire for a specific amount of money. He is explicit about the difference. Wishing for wealth is passive. Desire is active. It demands a plan. It demands a deadline. It demands total commitment. Hill gives the example of Edwin Barnes, who arrived at Thomas Edison's door with no money and no connections, only the unshakable desire to become Edison's business partner. Edison gave him a minor job. Barnes took it and waited, watching for his opportunity. When it came, he seized it and went on to become one of Edison's most important business associates. The desire Barnes had was not vague. It was specific. To work with Edison, it was unconditional. He would accept no alternative, and it was sustained. He kept it alive through years of mundane work. Hill's practical exercise: write down the exact amount of money you intend to have. Write what you intend to give in return. Set a definite date. Write out a clear plan. Read it aloud every morning and every night until it is part of how you think. The action: define your financial desire with precision. Not, I want to be wealthy. What amount? By when? What will you do to earn it? Chapter 2. Faith, visualizing and believing in the attainment of desire. The second principle is faith. Hill defines it not as religious belief, but as a state of mind, a confident expectation that what you desire will be achieved. He argues that the subconscious mind does not distinguish between a clearly imagined thought and a real experience. If you rehearse success vividly and repeatedly enough, your subconscious begins to act as if success is inevitable, which changes your behavior, your decisions, and your opportunities. This sounds like wishful thinking, but Hill's point is more practical than mystical. The person who genuinely believes they will achieve financial success makes different decisions than the person who secretly doubts it. They take the call. They start the business. They make the ask. Belief precedes behavior. The action: create a specific mental image of your financial goal already achieved. Hold it clearly. Return to it every day. The purpose is not magic. It is alignment. Your actions will follow your deepest beliefs. Chapter 3. Specialized knowledge. Hill draws a sharp distinction between general education and specialized knowledge. General knowledge, in the kind most schools provide, has little direct value in the accumulation of wealth. What creates wealth is knowledge that can be organized and applied in a specific direction. Henry Ford had almost no formal education, but he understood automobiles and manufacturing deeply enough to build an empire. Edison understood invention and commercialization. Carnegie understood steel and people. Hill's point is not that education is worthless. It is that knowledge only becomes power when it is applied. And the most valuable knowledge is the kind that solves a specific, pressing problem that people will pay to have solved. He also introduces the concept of the mastermind alliance, the idea that no one achieves great financial success alone. Surrounding yourself with people whose knowledge complements your own is not weakness, it is intelligence. The action: identify the single area of specialized knowledge that is most relevant to your financial goal. What do you need to know deeply? Where will you learn it? Who already has it that you could learn from? Chapter 4. Imagination. Hill distinguishes between two types of imagination, synthetic and creative. Synthetic imagination rearranges existing ideas into new combinations. Most successful business ideas are synthetic. They take something that exists and apply it in a new context or to a new market. Creative imagination is rarer. It accesses genuinely new ideas from what Hill calls infinite intelligence. He believes this is the source of true breakthrough innovation. For most people building financial lives, synthetic imagination is the more immediately useful tool. What already works in another industry that you could apply to yours? What product or service exists in another country that your community needs? What combination of existing skills could you package differently? The action. Spend 20 minutes this week thinking about your financial situation purely through the lens of imagination. Not planning, not problem solving, just generating possibilities. The ideas that feel absurd are often the ones worth keeping. Chapter 5. Organized planning and persistence. Hill argues that most people fail financially not because of lack of intelligence or talent, but because of two things: poor planning and insufficient persistence. On planning, he recommends writing out a clear, specific plan and beginning to act on it immediately, even if the plan is imperfect. An imperfect plan in motion is better than a perfect plan on paper. Every plan can be revised. A plan that hasn't started cannot be. On persistence, this is perhaps Hill's most important practical principle. He writes that the majority of people give up at the first sign of opposition or failure, but the people who achieve lasting wealth are almost universally characterized by one thing: they did not stop. They faced failure, revised their approach, and continued. Hill lists the symptoms of a lack of persistence: procrastination, lack of interest in acquiring specialized knowledge, the habit of looking for shortcuts, fear of criticism, self-satisfaction that kills ambition. The action: write your financial plan today. Not a perfect one, but a real one with steps and dates. Then commit to one act of persistence. Identify the thing you have been putting off and do it this week, regardless of outcome. Chapter 6. The Subconscious Mind and Autosuggestion. Hill's most unusual but arguably most practical chapter deals with what he calls autosuggestion, the practice of consciously feeding your subconscious mind with the thoughts and beliefs you want it to act on. The subconscious mind, he argues, is working continuously. It receives inputs from your dominant thoughts and acts on them. Most people feed it a diet of fear, doubt, and limitation without realizing it, and then wonder why their financial life reflects those things. Autosuggestion is the deliberate practice of replacing those inputs with the beliefs and goals you actually want to live by. This is the mechanism behind the written statement he recommended in Chapter 1. By reading your financial goal aloud every morning and night, with emotion and conviction, you are literally reprogramming the inputs your subconscious acts on. The action: write a positive, present tense statement of your financial goal and the identity it implies. I am building financial freedom through specific action. Read it every morning for 30 days. Notice what changes. A note at the end. Think and Grow Rich is a product of its era, and some of its language and assumptions require updating. But its core insight has never been more relevant. The mental life of a person, their beliefs, their focus, their persistence, is the primary driver of their financial outcomes. The people who build lasting wealth are not always the most educated, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are the ones who decided clearly what they wanted, believed they could achieve it, acquired the knowledge to make it possible, planned and revised until it worked, and simply did not stop. That formula is available to everyone. This has been WealthWorks. If this was useful, subscribe. There is more where this came from.